Definition of a noun, which is what? A noun is a person, place, a thing, or idea. Felicia, that's a noun because it's a person. School, that's a noun because it's a place. You know, y'all get it, okay? So a noun is a person, a place, a thing, or idea. What are the different types of nouns? They're right there on your list in front of your face. Common, what else? Proper. Singular. Plural.
Collective.
I think I'm going to do, common, proper, singular, plural. I think I'm going to do concrete next. Concrete.
Collective.
All right, I'm going to do collective in a second. Abstract. Collective. What else? Compound. What else? That's all from your list?
Possessive.
Possessive. And then we're going to add countable and uncountable. So if you want to write that in somewhere, if you're going to take notes, I would suggest writing your notes on this actual noun packet. Okay, so countable and uncountable. Okay. Okay, so today we're talking about 11 different types of nouns. We do have an understanding that all of these are a person, place, thing, or idea. Correct? So we just need to figure out, well, what makes a proper noun different than a compound? What makes a countable noun different than a plural noun? So let's start with the easiest one. A common noun is a general name. Now you all have the official definitions right in front of you. I like to make up my own definitions because it's easier for me to remember them. So if you like my definition instead of the book definition, feel free to write it down, or you can take a picture of the board before you leave. That way you can have the notes that way. All right, a general name for a person, place, thing, or idea. For example, car. You don't know what specific car I'm talking about, right? Car is just the general name for it. So give me some more examples of common nouns.
Would you say a tree?
Meaning it's not specific. Huh?
I would say a tree.
Tree, yes. Give me more. Girl.
No.
Flower. House.
Shoe.
School. Y'all get it. Proper nouns are the opposite of common nouns. If a common noun is not specific, then a proper noun is specific.
I would say a Honda.
So, a proper noun is a specific name for a person, place, thing, or idea, and you usually capitalize it. So, for example, we're going to say John. The common noun would be boy, or guy, or fella, or whatever you want to say. The proper noun would be John because that's his specific name. Give me more examples of proper nouns.
Morgan State.
Morgan State. Give me more.
Maryland.
Maryland, because that's a specific state.
Jaguar XF.
Jaguar XF. Y'all get it, right? Okay. All right, those are the two easiest, and you will see that these two are opposites of each other. The next one we're going to talk about is the singular. 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 I can't spell. A singular noun means it's just one noun. For example, boy. Give me more examples.
Street.
Tree.
That's a street.
Street. Friend.
Place.
Okay? A plural noun is the opposite. A plural noun means it's more than one. For example, boys. Notice how for plural you're going to add that S or the ES on the end. Okay? So you have trees, streets, friends. Y'all get it, right? Places. Understandable? Yes, no, maybe so. I won't know if you understand it. You don't let me know. Yeah. Okay. So you see how these two are opposites. Is it possible for a noun to fall under several different categories? Yeah. Yes, it is. As long as they're not opposites. Okay? You're not going to have a noun that's common and proper at the same time. Okay? So, I want to give you a warning about the plural noun. There are, okay, I'm going to use some bad grammar just to get my point across for a second. But in grammar, you can't get used to nothing being nothing. And the reason that is because there's always an exception to the rule. For some reason, in the English language, there are some words that we call irregular words. I really, like when I get to heaven one day, I'm going to have to find this person and I'm going to have to sit them down and I'm going to have to ask them some questions like, why? Why did you come up with this stupid rule? I don't get it. Let me give you an example. The singular form of the word fish is fish. The plural form of the word fish, meaning it's more than one, is fish. Help me understand this. If for everything else, when we turn it to plural, we add an S or ES, why wouldn't fishes be the plural? But I promise you, you write that college essay and you write, oh, I'm in love with fishes. They gonna look at you like you crazy, okay? Because fishes is not a word. I went to Howard University. Our mascot is the bison. H-U, you know. The singular form of bison is bison. The plural form of bison is bison. I don't get it. Why wouldn't it be bisons? I don't get it.
And deer. So he's called irregular?
So they call them irregular words.
Any words that don't have S to it is irregular.
Yeah. So I just wanted to warn you that this rule of adding an S or ES to the end of the word to make it plural, that's for most of the words in the English language, but there's a chunk of words that this rule does not apply to. So if I were a student trying to build up my grammar skills, and how would I know which words this rule applies to and which words this doesn't? Trial and error. That's my response. When I was younger, I read a lot, and reading helped me see how people use words, which words were acceptable, which words weren't. I'm going to be completely honest. Once I became an adult, I don't have time to read anymore. I don't. Whatever little 2 hours I have of free time, I'm playing video games because that's how I relieve my stress. Or I'm playing my piano, so you know, like I don't have time to read. Another option is when you're typing in Microsoft Word and stuff, and you see the little red squiggly line, or the little blue squiggly line, or the green squiggly line underneath your word. That they're not decorating your assignment to make it look cute. That means there's something wrong. So normally, if it's red, then that means you've spelled something wrong. But there are some times when you spell it right. Like, for example, 2, 2, and 2. You have 2, T-O. Then you have 2, T-O-O, which means also. And then you have 2, T-W-O, which means the number 2. So if I'm writing in Microsoft Word, and I say, oh, I want to go 2, but I accidentally spelled T-W-O, Microsoft Word wouldn't pick that up because technically I spelled it right, but I used the wrong word. I meant to put T-O-O, okay? So you could pay attention to the spell checkers and things like that, but really you just got to expose yourself to more literature. Instead of getting your news from, you know, CNN, you might need to actually pick up a newspaper or a magazine or, you know, something like that just to expose yourself to stuff. All right, concrete and abstract. These two are opposites. Y'all see how I'm color coding things? This is for my logical learners, okay? And what happens is if you color code your notes like this, you're like, oh yeah, that one was in the green. I used the green for the plural. Oh, okay, I remember now, okay? All right, so concrete nouns are nouns that you can literally experience with one or more of your senses. And that would be the sense of touch, taste, sight, what am I missing? Sound, and hearing. Okay, I'm going to put emphasis on the word literally. You can literally experience it with one or more of the 5 senses. Let's say dog. Example, dog. You can see a dog. You can hear a dog. If you're real nasty, you probably could taste a dog, but don't talk to me because you're just gross. But you understand you can experience a dog with your senses. Give me more examples of concrete nouns. Cars. Door. Sign. Food. Y'all get it, okay? Now, an abstract noun, a noun that you know exists, but you cannot literally experience it with your senses. For example, love. Let's talk about this word literally very quickly. We're going to switch this over into a literature class, an English class for a second. Those of you all who took English in high school, you probably heard of literary terms, yes? You heard of similes and metaphors and all that kind of stuff. Well, you should have come across 2 terms, literal language and figurative language. Literal means it is what it is. Like literally, like if I say, dang, look at that fat apple. I'm literally talking about a piece of fruit that's very large and juicy and crunchy and all of that kind of stuff. But figurative language is code language. It's when we use words in place of what we really mean. We're trying to mask what we're really trying to say. There's a deeper meaning behind it. So if I'm speaking figuratively and I say, dang, look at that fat apple, that really means you got a big old booty back there, okay? Now, I'm a millennial. I'm a part of the millennial generation. Most of you all are as well. If you were born in between 1980 and 1999, you're a millennial. And we know the older generations, they talk all kind of trash about our generation. We this, we that, whatever. You just got to ignore it because their generation has some issues too. But I will say, the one thing that I did like about our parents' generation and their parents' generation is they had this figurative game on lock. Our generation does not do well with it, okay? When you think of old songs, y'all listen to your parents' music or your grandparents' music, the oldies, the goodies. You know the song, Stairway to Heaven. Y'all know that song? Stairway to Heaven. Don't you wanna go, don't you wanna go, don't you wanna go? That's my jam. And I'm a little kid in the car listening to this. I'm like, oh, this is such a nice song. Yes, Lord, I want to go to heaven too. That song ain't talking about heaven for real. That song is using figurative language. Stairway to Heaven is code language for doing the nasty and reaching the climax. Can you believe that? The other song that I like, do-do-do-do, Mary Jane. Y'all know that song? I'm in love with Mary Jane. She's my main thing. She makes me feel alright. She makes my heart sing. And when I'm feeling low, she comes as no surprise. And you're like, oh, that's so sweet. That's so romantic. He made a nice song for a woman he loves named Mary Jane. That song ain't about no woman, y'all. That song is about weed. You understand what I'm saying? So, do you understand the difference between literal language and figurative language? If I'm speaking figuratively, and that means, it's when we say that for an abstract noun, it's a noun that you know exists, but you can't literally experience it with your senses. Guess what? Can you see love literally?
No.
No, you can't tell me what color it is. Can you hear it? Can you taste it? Can you, what am I missing? Can you smell it?
Nope.
I forgot smell. Touch, taste, sound. Touch, taste, sound. Whatever. Y'all know what the 5 senses are. Can you feel it?
Yeah.
Now this is where a lot of people they say, yeah, you can feel love. Okay. For real? Okay. All right. So this is what I always say for abstract nouns. I have a glass jar right here. I just threw some love inside. Reach your hand inside there. Tell me what that feel like. Is it prickly? Is it gooey? Can you feel that? No. You can feel the effects of love, but you cannot literally feel love. You don't walk down the street like, oh shoot, I just tripped over that love right there. Let me get that. No, you can't literally feel it. So give me more examples of abstract nouns. Freedom, yes. We know freedom is a thing, right? Because we all strive to get it. The bill tax collector man, I'm trying to tell you, he's real. All right, what else?
Energetic.
Energy.
That's energetic.
I know. You say energetic.
Yeah.
Energy is the same word. It's just energetic would be an adjective. So I just transferred it into a noun. All right, energy is a thing. We can see the effects of energy in people, but you can't literally like look in the glass jar like, oh my gosh, this energy is a little green today. You need to put that back in the oven. No. All right, what else?
Fun.
Bravery. Yeah, fun. That's a good one. But y'all get it, right? Abstract. Okay. A collective noun is a noun that is singular, meaning it's just one. It's a singular word. It doesn't have that S or that ES on the end unless it literally just has that S or ES like bus or something or whatever. But it's a noun that is singular, but it is made up of a bunch of things collectively. For example, band. You see how band is a singular word? It's just one band, but that band is made up of a bunch of individual members collectively. Does that make sense? All right, give me another example of a collective noun.
Team.
Team. What else? Who? Council. Yes, council. Ooh, that's the old school word right there. All right, what else?
Brigade.
Who?
Brigade. Like the army would say brigade. It's like platoon.
A brigade. Oh, okay. You fancy. Brigade. All right. Squad. Gang.
Barrier.
Who?
Barrier.
Barrier. It's a barrier. Like a barrier, like a wall. How is that? You may be right, but I'm still concrete now. I don't think it would be collective. In order for it to be collective, it has to be made up of a bunch of individual people or things. So for example, a herd. Little Bo Peep had a herd of sheep. Okay, so a herd means a group of sheep. It's one herd though, or class. One class, but it's made up of a bunch of individual students. Does that make sense?
So you said
Yes.
one word cover like
One word that is made up of a bunch of people or things. Okay? Crowd. Yes, it's one crowd, but it's made up of a bunch of individual people. Okay. Very good. All right, then we have a compound noun. Now, a compound noun, this one gets on my nerves when I have to teach it sometimes. Let me do the best I can. A compound noun is a noun that has two or more words in one. For example, strawberry. Okay? So this can happen a couple different ways. You literally can have 2 or more words squished together in one. Strawberry, thunderstorm, pineapple. You know those types of words, okay? But it has to be a noun. It can't just be a word that has 2 words inside of it. No, it has to be a noun, a person, place, thing, or idea. But there's another way this can be done. With the hyphen. We see this for some words, they're connected with that hyphen. Now this is the one that I don't like teaching because it confuses some people, but hopefully you all can stay with me. Hot dog. They're 2 separate words, but these 2 words go together like white on rice. Like you can't, you know what I mean? You can't take one of the words out because it will totally change the sentence. In order for it to be a compound noun, it can't be just 2 random words that like, oh, these 2 words are related. Like the red sweater is pretty. Red and sweater are compound noun. No, they're not. Because if you took the word red out and just said the sweater is pretty, the sentence is just fine without it. But if it truly is a compound noun, then you shouldn't be able to take either one out without the sentence being totally messed up. So I went to the game and ate a hot dog. Right? If I took out I went to the game and ate a dog. You see how that totally changes the sentence? Or I went to the game and ate a hot. You see? So in order for it to be like go together, like you cannot take one of them out. So give me more examples, either type of one word with 2 more words in it, the one with the hyphen, or 2 separate words. Give me a couple more examples of compound nouns.
21.
21. Okay, I'm not going to write that because I already have 22 there.
How about blueberry?
Blueberry. Give me 4 more.
Grapefruit.
Grapefruit, that's a good one.